Hey, this is Danny from Made of Metal, aka Britain's strongest drummer, and I've been doing a lot of talk about the UKNS qualifiers that have been going on recently. Well, the qualifiers in England and Scotland are done and dusted. Just the Irish qualifier to go, but that's not until the end of March. But we are firmly on the road to the UK Strongest Man, Woman final, which is taking place in Galway in June. So I thought I'd do a little recap of the qualifiers that I have yet to touch upon. I talked briefly about the UKNS Northern qualifier in one of my previous videos, UKNS What We Know So Far, which you can find on my channel. So I'm going to be touching upon the Southern qualifier, the Scottish qualifier, and the Midlands qualifier as well. We know the events that are going to make up the final in June. We don't yet know the weights. They will be released once the Irish qualifier has been concluded. And I'm going to release a separate video speculating on what weights we might see in the various weight classes and who might do well out of the people we know that have been invited, with a special guest. So keep an eye out for that. So yeah, this video is going to act as a brief rundown of some of the epic performances at the qualifiers that I have yet to talk about. It's not going to be an exhaustive list of everyone that made the podium, because frankly, I'd be here forever. I competed at the Southern qualifier, and I also helped out a little bit on the men's day of the Midlands qualifier. I refereed the under 105s, the Opens and the Masters. I was unable to get all the way up north to Scotland for that qualifier. So in this rundown, if there's anything that I miss, please rest assured it's not because I don't think it's worth talking about, it's just because it flew under my radar. So apologies in advance, but big congratulations to every athlete that turned up to a qualifier and gave it their all. So let's start off talking about the Southern qualifier, which is the competition I took part in as an under 80 kilogram athlete, and I managed to come out with the win, which is a weird thing for me to say looking into a camera. So I feel like I put in a fairly consistent performance throughout the day. I placed top 3 in all but one event, and I am thanking my lucky stars that Wayne Close, who came second, is unable to participate in overhead press events due to injury, because I know if he was able to jump in on that log, the margin in points would be much narrower. And it turned out sometime after the competition was done and dusted that the under 80 kilogram sandbag, which was listed on the event as 90 kilograms, labeled on the day 100 kilograms, actually weighed on a scale 107.5 kilograms. 0.5 is important, which honestly makes me feel much better about my personal performance in the max distance sandbag carry and the sandbag over yoke, because by God, when I first picked up that bag to carry it, I thought, geez, this feels heavy for 90 kilograms. And the other guys in the 80 kilograms also felt the same. So it's good to know that we weren't just really fatigued on the day, and it meant huge PBs for most of us. Personally, at home, I have a 110 kilogram sandbag that I train with, and the very first time I tried to pick it up and carry it for max distance, I tried to go for 45 meters, barely got 30. So to get 70 on the day, very happy with that. So while I'm pleased with my personal performance at the Southern qualifier, how could I not be? I placed first. I know I need to bring something special in June. The quality of athlete that made the podium in each of the other qualifiers is absolutely outstanding, and I don't want to go there to just make up the numbers. So between now and June, a lot of hard work, and we'll see what happens. Let's travel north of the border to Scotland now, where in the under 80 kilogram class, Scott Alexander takes the win with 3 event wins out of 5. John Martin also putting in a stellar performance. He was epic at Stones last year, and I know he's going to be excited that Stones have been announced for the UK final. Special shout out goes to Alicia Lumba. I'm sorry if I got your surname slightly wrong there. In her first year of Strongwoman, she took the win in the under 73s with a frankly dominant performance. Double digits overhead, double digits on the sandbag loading, 4 event wins out of 5. She only held back on the deadlift, I believe, due to injury. So she's going to be looking to come in strong and make a statement in the final in June. And the most recent qualifier to take place happened in the Midlands, split over 2 days. The women competed on the Saturday and the men on the Sunday. And we have another newbie into the world of strong women in the form of Commonwealth weightlifting athlete Faye Pittman. Now, I was told prior to the competition that Faye Pittman is someone to keep an eye on, and on the day she was pretty dominant, only losing points in some of the more strong women specific events like the implements. But once she gets a bit more practice on those, this was her first strong women competition. Once she gets familiar with the events and the implements, she is definitely someone to look out for. And speaking of domination in the new under 57 kilogram weight class, Hannah Fitzgerald is definitely someone to keep an eye on in the final. We had April Butler and Kaylee Steele going head to head at the Midlands qualifier, and you know they'll both be gunning for a podium position at the final. At the Midlands qualifier, we also had highly decorated strong women athlete Desi Gillespie stepping up a weight class to the under 82. She really is an incredible all-round strong woman, so looking forward to see what she's able to do in Galway. And if we take a look at the Midlands qualifier on the men's side of things, we had some noteworthy performances from the likes of Hugh Hartnett, who did what Hugh Hartnett does. Last year, he set some kind of a record. For deadlift for reps, it was 190 kilograms last year. He got 19 reps. This year, 210 kilograms. He pulled it out of the bag again with 14 reps. That's the most reps, I believe, out of any of the qualifiers that have taken place so far. We had an admittedly slow start from the likes of Matt Neese, who admitted that the log for reps didn't quite go to plan. He's usually a tremendous overhead presser, and I think that knocked him for the next couple of events, but he pulled it back with a win on the Farmer's Walk and the stone over yoke. We'll talk about that in a second. And in a surprise to not many people, Andrew Keys, he won the sandbag carry for distance with, what was it? Something like 160 meters? I think that was it. It was about 160 meters. Cocky as ever, but it was fun to watch. So yeah, going into that final event, the stone over yoke, we had 3 athletes tied for 3rd place. So it was really all to play for, and all came down to who could just give the most, and everyone gave it their all. I was in the trenches. I was returning the stone back to the athletes, so I was just feeling the energy and the effort that each athlete was giving off, and yeah, outstanding to see. And it was with his performance on that Matt Neese sealed a place on the podium with, I believe, 11 reps for the joint win. He tried to go for a 12th, nearly passed out, which just goes to show how bad he wants to be at the final, and he's booked his ticket there. Can't wait to catch up with him in June. Also a consistent performance from Miles Hawkins, who I believe was the other guy to get 11 reps. There were 2 guys got 10 and 2 got 11. I think Matt Neese and Miles Hawkins got the 11, and he got 3rd place on the podium. So yeah, 3 really strong guys in Andrew Keys, Matt Neese and Miles Hawkins on the podium at the Midlands qualifier in the under 80 kilogram class. Gonna make Galway spicy. So that's gonna do it for, as I say, this brief, all too brief roundup of just some of the highlights from the qualifiers that took place down south in the Midlands and in Scotland for the UKNS. As I mentioned, there will be another video coming out soon centered around the UKNS final, the events, the athletes. Maybe we'll go into some predictions. It will be a conversation between myself and the promoter of the UKNS Midlands qualifier, Ash Lappage. So yeah, keep an eye out for that video on this channel, as well as many more to come. There are so many exciting things happening in the world of strongman and strong woman. Please subscribe to the channel, please leave a thumbs up, and please comment below, because I know I have missed so many outstanding performances that took place over these qualifiers. So thanks for watching. I have been Danny from Made of Metal, aka Britain's strongest drummer and the strongest natural athlete in the south. I'll be back very soon.